The winds of change blew through Erie during the 2006-2007 season as the Otters embarked on a campaign that delivered its fair share of ups and downs. A season that seemed to be in a constant state of change, and one that, in the end, provided the promise of better days to come. A sense of transition was in the air from the get-go, with a new coaching staff enlisted to guide the Otters into the future. Peter Sidorkovich took over as head coach after serving 7 years as an assistant. Mike Stapleton and his 16 years of professional playing experience was brought on board as the club's associate coach, while former Otters member Mike Nelson joined as an assistant. The new trio was charged with the task of overseeing a relatively young and inexperienced team, which got younger and more inexperienced as the season ran its course. It didn't take long for the ultimate direction of the team to be defined and for the Otters' rebuilding process to begin in earnest. With 3 proven and coveted commodities in the mix, General Manager Sherry Basson set out on the task to maximize the return on players who were in high demand among contending teams around the Ontario Hockey League and players that could be parlayed into key components of future success. Ryan O'Mara was the first to go, sent to the Saginaw Spirit in November in exchange for Zach Turquato and 2 picks in the 2007 OHL priority selection. Although only in the opening months of his second OHL season, Turquato was already considered one of the top young players in the league and immediately became the face of the Otters' retooling efforts.
There was a lot of excitement and got the chance to take on a different role here and play in every situation, which I really enjoyed, and helping younger players develop. But obviously I was a little shocked and disappointed to leave a winning team in Saginaw, but at the same time I wish them the best, and hopefully we can be in their shoes in next year or the year after.
Turquato seamlessly joined Nick Palmieri, Josh Kidd, Justin Hodgman, and Anthony Peluso, along with freshmen Mitch Galton, Kelly Joffrey, and Stanislav Polodna as the youthful nucleus of what was evolving into the backbone of a future championship contender. But more changes were still on the horizon.
Losing your key guys, every year is tough. But for us, we have like a couple years here where we'll still have the Zach Turquatos and the Nick Palmieris, and I'll be around for 2 more years. And then we have guys like Mitch Galton and Kelly Joffrey coming up, and they still have plenty of years left. And it's good. It's good because you get a lot of experience with those guys, the same guys playing every year, so there's not too many new introductions into the team.
In the days leading up to the trading deadline, Basson went to work again in an all-out effort to capitalize on the veteran commodities remaining on the roster. First, the Otters found a trading partner in Saginaw again in January when Andrew Hotham went to the Spirit in a deal that landed Jordan Skellett and 2 picks in 2009.
Well, you definitely can't be sad about being one of the guys that is going to be relied on. You know what I mean? When I come to the rink, in Mississauga, I didn't have the luxury of, I just had to go to the rink and sort of be there, you know what I mean? I didn't have a really important job on the team or anything like that. But when I came here, I've been told by the coaching staff and the front office, I'm going to be one of the leaders on the team. And that definitely makes you step up, and people will be looking at you, so you have to have a positive image.
A week later, Sean O'Connor was traded to the Plymouth Whalers in exchange for defenseman Frank Grayshak. And by the time Kevin Beach arrived from the Sudbury Wolves, the Otters' overhaul was complete, and the team was positioned with a clear and concise plan towards future success. Undoubtedly, the Otters roster was young and mostly inexperienced when compared to the majority of the competition in the OHL. But despite the sometimes large discrepancy, a difficult season filled with individual and team challenges wasn't without its moments. A late rally that erased a 3-goal deficit in a 5-3 victory over the Kitchener Rangers in November gave Erie fans a glimpse of the Otters' potential explosiveness, and an unforgettable 6-5 shootout victory over the Oshawa Generals in March, featuring Justin Gary's penalty shot save on OHL MVP John Tavares in overtime, injected a season's worth of excitement into the Tullio Arena.
Every game except for a few during the second half, it seemed as though we were starting to play a little bit more as a team and getting to be a little bit better offensively and defensively, and all of our systems were kind of coming together. So I mean, it only shows that there's good things to come for this team in the future. So it's really exciting to be on this team and looking forward to next year.
The last 4 games we played, the top teams in the league, and we held them close. Exception of 1 game, but I think we got better as the year went on. In the second half, started out a little rough, but towards the end of the season, I think we kind of started to mesh a little bit, and hopefully we can carry that over into next year.
One of the more positive and exciting developments during the course of the season was the Otters' success in shootouts. Led by Zach Turquato, Erie players let their offensive creativity hang out as they consistently captured valuable points in impressive fashion and became one of the best shootout teams in the league.
It's just really exciting. The fans get into it, which is nice, and the boys on the bench are really excited. We had the rally buckets on, which seemed to work this year, but I don't know, it just went down, and I like to take the option to shoot, but if it's not there, if the goalie's coming out, we'll take the shot, go deke, but whatever, I don't know, whatever works, and I was lucky enough to go 6 for 6.
When the 2006-2007 season was officially in the books, members of the Otters reflected on a campaign that was filled with adversity, but one that included more than a few hints of future success and continued excitement.
They do say how we're going to have a good team the next couple of years and stuff like that, but it's not just going to come natural. Like, we're going to have to work for everything. Like this year, we knew we were young, and I don't think we worked half as hard as we could have. And the next couple of years, it's going to be a real grind, and I think we really will come out on top.
When I came down here, I was almost surprised to see how many people were in the stands, and when we'd score, like we'd cheer even if the game was getting out of hand or anything like that. And that definitely makes us want to still play here, and it makes people want to come here to play. And it's just a great atmosphere to play in, and the guys in the room, we're definitely looking forward to having a championship or even a Memorial Cup. I hope to bring back to Erie, and I don't know, the guys are going to work hard to do it, and it's definitely the biggest goal we have in mind.
This player completed his OHL eligibility as a double award winner. The Oshawa, Ontario native brought his dedication to a new level in 2006-2007 as he shifted from his natural forward position to fill a much-needed role on defense. Off the ice, the veteran excelled, maintaining a GPA of more than 3.5 in courses at Mercyhurst College and Gannon University. His scholastic accomplishments were also recognized by the OHL as the Roger Nielsen Memorial Award winner as the league's top academic player attending university or college. The Erie Otters 2006-2007 Basson Award winner for dedication and the Scholastic Player of the Year, Derek Bagshaw. These two players excelled at opposite ends of the ice and in the process became crowd favorites. This forward made dramatic advances offensively in his second OHL season and finished second in team scoring with 19 goals and 32 assists for 51 points in 67 games. And although arriving halfway through the season, this Brantford, Ontario native had a towering impact on the Otters. The vast experience and calm demeanor of this overage goaltender were a perfect complement to a youthful squad thirsting for direction and confidence. The Erie Otters 2006-2007 Le Castro Benini 3-star award winners, Justin Hodgman and Kevin Beach. This rookie player made the adjustment to not only a new league, but also a new country with fantastic results. In 63 games, the forward from the Czech Republic notched 10 goals and 21 assists for 31 points to go along with only 23 minutes in penalties, the lowest among Otters regulars. The 2006-2007 Erie Otters' most sportsmanlike player, Stanislav Paladna. As the fourth overall pick in the 2006 OHL priority selection, this player arrived with high expectations and immediately became a regular on the Otters' blue line, logging veteran-type minutes. In 54 games, the Grimsby, Ontario native finished with the most points by a 16-year-old defender in franchise history. The 2006-2007 Erie Otters Rookie of the Year, Mitch Galton. A mid-round selection in the 2005 OHL Priority Selection, this player landed in Erie with a bang, gaining notoriety and respect for his determined and hard-nosed approach to the game. Off the ice, the bruising forward made his biggest impact through his community efforts with the Gliding Stars and in numerous elementary school classrooms throughout the season. The Erie Otters 2006-2007 Most Determined Player and Steve Nimigon Humanitarian Award winner, Luke Gazdick. A 3-game audition at the conclusion of the 2005-2006 season led this player into a productive rookie campaign in 2006-2007. The speedy forward finished his first full season with 18 goals and 23 assists for 41 points, resulting in the most productive season by an Otters rookie since 2000-2001. The 2006-2007 Erie Otters Most Improved Player, Ronnie Rogers. A young and relatively inexperienced defense looked to this veteran for guidance during the 2006-2007 season. Along the way, he set career highs in all offensive categories with 9 goals and 18 assists for 27 points in 64 games, and became one of the OHL's top-ranked defenders for the 2007 National Hockey League entry draft. The 2006-2007 Erie Otters best defenseman, Josh Kidd. This player becomes the 3rd player in franchise history to capture leading scorer, player of the year, and most valuable player honors in the same season. An early season acquisition from the Saginaw Spirit, the Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario native paced the Otters with 30 goals and 39 assists for 69 points in 65 games. He was also selected to represent the Otters at the OHL All-Star Classic and at the CHL Top Prospects game, and is one of the OHL's top prospects for the 2007 NHL entry draft. The Erie Otters 2006-2007 leading scorer, player of the year, and most valuable player, Zach Turquato.